Hey everybody, Rhadamant here. Thanks for tuning in to episode 98 of Frost and Fire. Last episode, we called in a whole lot of trade opportunity, and they're still hanging out here until the temperature has them leave. Speaking of temperature, I am going to switch all of the clothing that people are wearing from summer to winter. I'm also going to edit the Royal to allow for jump packs, so Storbeck is not going to switch to shield belts. Now, my hope for this episode is to complete the construction of the Eastern Killbox updates, and then to honestly start to prepare for the reactor raids. Now, previously I had mentioned that I was stockpiling Phoenix armor, and the purpose of that was so that during the reactor raids, I could wear Phoenix armor, which is very tough armor, and protects me from a lot of, heat temperature. And what that would allow me to do is it would allow me to, it would allow me to be very well protected and then not have to worry about the temperature. And with that in mind, I'm going to want to start the reactor raids around the temperate temperatures of next spring, which gives me about, from now, about 2 seasons to truly prepare. You know, in April, May, the 8th or so, that is when I would be most interested to fire up the reactor, causing the 10 days of nightmares. I could, however, go, if I wanted to, go the Imperial route and have them escort me off the planet. But I had decided that it makes most sense lore-wise that there is no way off the planet that exists outside of me building my own ship because of how dangerous Frost and Fire is. If the other factions could get off of this planet, they would have, as sort of a concept, right? So with that in mind, I want to build my own ship rather than hitch a ride with the Royals. Ooh, sorry, Bash. Let's allow you to have some sleep before you have a dire mental break. I am also moving a smelter out here so that we can start smelting all the slag that the bugs dug up. And I dramatically shrunk the slag zone here so that my pets and people start to move this steel. Speaking of steel, I'm going to physically secure an area here. Like this, physically secure an area to allow me to continue mining even if there's manhunters or something like that in this area. That way I have a spot that I can get steel. In fact, let's run some power to it too, because we're going to need to deep drill for it, I think. There's not a lot of terrestrial steel left. These 2 nodes were the last 2 that I knew of. I'm sure there's more steel in this mountain that we could do mining tunnels for. Another thing that people said in the YouTube comments was the concern about the defoliator making its way to the anima tree. I don't think I'm at risk yet. So here's 50. And here is another 50. So right now the defoliator is about here. It's at like 40 something, right? So if you, I wish I could zoom out more, but if you take a look here, it is not that close to my crops and not that close to the anima tree. It will still be maybe another half season or so, maybe a little bit longer before the anima tree becomes endangered from the defoliator. And I could easily kill that, defoliator at any point. I've just been sitting on it because it isn't urgent. There's nothing that really grows outside in Frost and Fire, which is actually part of the challenge, right? There's no plants that you can harvest for food. You have to grow everything yourself. You have to. There's no such thing as a freebie in Frost and Fire. So, with that in mind, yeah, I'm not all that concerned about the defoliator and needing to urgently do anything about that. Additionally, if the anima tree was to be destroyed, it wouldn't bother us too much. It'd be like a -6 or 9 mood modifier, depending on psychic sensitivity for some time. But that's really nothing to the people that we have here. They're constantly in the negatives. But thanks to Raptor and people standing near Raptor, there are some positive moods every now and then too. Speaking of which, I could give a throne speech. I think throne speeches in this community, due to, you know, 3 of us having night schedules, the throne speech time is really like 1900 or so. That would be the ideal timing. And Bash is in a daze. And now the trade caravans are starting to leave. It's getting too cold, which makes sense. Now I could have, if I was evil, wake these mechs up and have all of the caravans have to deal with it. But I had mentioned, and I will continue to remind you, I'm trying the high road. I'm trying the difficult road of not throwing my allies under the bus. It's definitely more difficult to not kill people that way, right? It would have been very easy for me to trigger the defoliator and be like, hey, guess what? Trade caravans, you have to now kill all those mechs or die trying and I'll take all your stuff. Yes, if you wanted to play this way, because the rules of this community challenge doesn't specifically state that you can't be like that. But what it does state is that you have to remain allied with all human factions. That is one of the rules. But you can game the system if you want. I'm just saying I am not going to. So we're getting closer to having the Killbox expansion finished. And now Hippie has a shoot frenzy, which is great. Okay, I'm a little worried about Gabe, given the rest, food, and recreation. Gabe's going to head into a mental break if not dealt with. So I forbid the meat that's down here so that we can't use it for animal training. And then I think with that new meat, I'm going to stick everybody on fine meals again. Also, I don't think it would be a terrible idea for me to stockpile a few more lavish meals again, especially going into the reactor raid. So let's actually do that. So this wart is going to be lavish meals instead. And then I'm going to cook 2 bashes of lavish meals. And with those lavish meals, we'll be able to modify moods if need be. All right, so this light bulb now has power, and this is because there's a underground steel node there. I think there's only one more slag in the north part of this cavern. So now we're gonna move the smelter down and start smelting up the stuff at the bottom. A party. Nice. Fortunately, Bash, who's probably the one that needs to party the most, is not going to be in attendance unless he snaps out of his mental break. And I'm not going to snap him out of the mental break by arrest or anything like that. Either will naturally snap out of it or not. Now, I did also mention that the best time for a throne speech would be right around now, so let's give one. And again, if Bash is in attendance for his own brother's throne speech, so be it. So let's schedule everybody to, or zone restrict everybody to throne. This is a good way to, like, sort of force people to attend, I suppose. Throne room. Because we've had people wander off because of fire. Yep, everybody but Bash is there. Raptor just leveled up to 15 social, but I think he's been teeter-tottering on 15 for a while now, so that's not new. The chance of his positive throne speech has gone up, though. And then if we want the lavish meals, I'm going to have to unforbid. Okay, uninspiring. Well, I guess it's a good thing that that not everyone was in attendance. And unfortunately, right as it finished up, people fell asleep on the floor. It was that uninspiring that it made them unconscious. Okay, let's have Raptor crank out some lavish meals. So the uninspiring, if you are curious, is... Oh, well, Oh, -4, there it is. Yeah, okay, JD did attend, and that's 8 days of a -4. And my chances of that uninspiring speech was like 11% when I had the coronet on. So, it was unlikely to happen, but it happened anyway. Alright, so regular lavish meals are done. What I'm going to do is cook 2 individual lavish meals then as well. Just so that we have a full stack of 10. Done. And then back to simple meals. And I'm going to re-forbid all the meat. So that we don't feed it to our pets for training. We have pets that just aren't going to be receiving nice meals. Alright, well, the deadfall traps are all set. And then we're waiting on the plasteel mini turrets to be hauled out. The plasteel mini turrets mostly just protect the autocannon turrets from being attacked. That is more or less their sole purpose. And we'll start hauling them out, I am sure. Alright, Raptor, why have you not slept? Oh boy. Let's not have you ripple your mood out. So in the YouTube comments, there was a question about whether or not selling Angelia would have been helpful. Yes, there is a slightly lower penalty for selling a bonded animal, but it's still a penalty, and I decided that I would have rather benefited from the butchering than just the sale. So here we go. On the eastern frontier, we are starting to get the turrets installed. Another thing I'm going to want to do is to stockpile a whole bunch of spare plasteel mini turrets. For when mine blow up, I don't have to construct new ones. I can just install them as backups. A little bit more expensive to do, but it will be quicker to... Oh, gross. A solar flare. It'll be quicker to fix up, you know, the kill box. So if I have a solar flare, I am... I'm going to try to save the beer. If I'm able. Because the beer will fail to ferment pretty quickly, unless we get it cool. And back to simple meals for everybody. So we just need to keep one of these rooms within the temperature tolerance, 45 Fahrenheit to 90 Fahrenheit, or 7C to 32C. And fortunately, the solar flare happened when it's very cold out, but not so cold that it will harm people. It's actually a very fortunate time for a solar flare. The unfortunate part is likely all the crops that I had growing here, they're not really grown very much, and they're almost certainly going to die as a result of the lack of power to the hydroponic basins. Oh well. Another positive thing that happened during a solar flare is, you know, all work that requires benches and the like can't be done. So the net result is the people that I have will haul steel instead. So it's a good way to sort of force everyone to haul. It's weird that I think of that as a benefit. So the throne room is no longer dignified because of the fermenting barrels, but I'd rather have beer and a somewhat undignified throne room than to have 50 beer ruin. That sounds a whole lot worse. I can also use my tailoring bench, so now might be a good time to create corsets once again. So corsets made of cloth. I have some devil strand and some leathers as well, and crab. I have 3 spare pants and 3 spare shirts, so I don't really need typical clothing. I might want to wait before committing to making shirts or pants again. Yeah, rice plants dying due to the cold. Everything will be a great big die-off. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna replace all of my crops with, let's say potatoes. Solar flare is ending. I am not going to refuel these fires. And then we'll move the fermenting barrels back and reset everything where it should be. Now, why potatoes? I just don't want to spend time farming. If I could have hydroponically planted corn, I would. But potatoes are less effort for rice. It's also less yield, but it's significantly less effort, so that's fine by me. All right, let's dignify this throne room now, so that Raptor doesn't have so many penalties, because his mood is infectious. And looking over here, I have the northern sort of security area all set up. I don't have the southern part yet. But we have steel rearm up to 4. So the other thing I'm going to want to do is to stockpile steel here. Well, that's probably too big of a stockpile. Let's try this again. 7, that'll work. Steel rearm 5. And then, you guessed it, steel rearm 6. A royal tribute collector. You know, I actually would like to pay royal tribute. The reason being is I could donate some gold to them for tribute and then just mine up some more gold. So it's actually pretty good timing if Storebet can make it out there in time before they leave the map tile, because it is very frigid. So if I pay tribute, the way these works is I pay tribute and I gain honor. So I'm going to find the threshold that gives me 4 honor right there. And then, as you can see, I am a Knight of Honor 4. I could have also done that with Raptor 2, but I'm trying to hit, if possible, for me to mine up. In fact, stockpile, we'll just call it gold in all caps so that it's temporary. I'd like to try to get a little bit higher, but that might not be possible. We'll see. Yeah, they're already leaving. Taking a look. If I'm at Knight 4, I need to be at honor total 31 for Praetor. So it would cost 10 honor, so I am 6 away. I'm not even going to be able to catch this guy. But one of the advantages of donating that is if I get another quest from them, from the Royal Tribute or from the Imperials at all, I'll be closer to becoming next tier, you know, to becoming a Praetor and getting Psylink 5. I do think the benefits of Psylink 4 are the most significant over all of the Psylink levels. I think the jump from 3 to 4 is the best jump to make. Obviously, being level 6 is the best. Don't get me wrong about that, but at level 4, you start to get the really fun stuff. Where did Hippie go? Okay, you still have Mechanites. I'm trying to tend to everybody so they aren't bedridden. These Mechanites have stuck around a long time, and it's very, very annoying. Oh, there's space for crab meat up here? No, there isn't. Let's use it immediately so we don't use it for pet food. So back to making corsets for trade, potentially. The title of the Jade small sculpture here is Blank Skin, thanks Gabe. It bears resemblance of Hippie making sculptures. Wow, that's pretty meta. Pretty meta indeed. And Bash just leveled up in animal training. Oh, awesome. And getting Maverick and hopefully Angelia, that's the important one, trained up. So it looks to me like the kill box areas are all set, right? One of the things, oh, there is some missing power cables. So let's go ahead and illuminate it, but also put that on dead power if I don't want to keep them on. And then I'd like to put some medicine in here. And I'm thinking about how I want to do that. Yeah, I'll probably just have 2 stacks of it, given how many meds I have. And then perhaps some regular beds that are not hospital beds, because hospital beds are a little bit more expensive than I'd like to spend. I also have to update the home zone. We have parts of our base now that aren't home zoned with the new mining expansions. I'm actually not going to put this as home zone because I don't want to clean up those tunnels. All right, does that about cover it? It does. And then we have this unnecessary home zoning where the monument used to be. All the steel has been hauled away. So I guess it would be a good time to deep drill. Yeah, let's deep drill it. So we currently do not need plasteel. It feels weird to say that I'm going to need steel because now we have 2,000 of it, but you know how fast 2,000 goes. 2,000 steel disappears in a blink of an eye. I'm going to get some heaters out there just so it's not so frigid. And another thing I'm going to want to do is to start to set up spare plasteel mini turrets to install on demand. That's going to be what I think is pretty important. So this area here is roofed up. It's not double insulated or anything like that. I don't really care to do that, but I just want it roofed up so we can heat it up a little bit for our miners. And then Leth and Gabe, you should see, head over there in a second. Gabe, why are you slagging over mining? Oh, because the drills aren't installed yet. Yeah, that would explain, you know, all of that. All right, let's have them install the drills. Looks like we've been butchering the big thing. More big things. There's one left for their insect meat. And it wouldn't be terrible to top up the meals here, as there's no chance that a solar flare takes them out, because, you know, we're in the middle of the winter. Storbeck and Raptor I have to worry about their temperature tolerance because they're in the recon armor. Ooh, and a combat supplier flying overhead. That could be awesome. I'm always looking to stockpile doomsday launchers and things of that nature. And they do have one. So let's get Raptor awake. Sell the sculpture. Buy the launcher. Is that the only thing they have? They have smoke shells. So smoke shells might be good if I end up having to deal with more mech clusters. They're pretty useful for mech clusters. I'm going to cancel load here. And then create a very temporary stockpile and put everything back in that pod. So I have 5 doomsday launchers. Oh, only 4 of them are reading. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. Alright, let's see now. Nope, still not. Haul this one. There, that. Oh, and glitch. Oh, maybe it was the fact that glitch was moving one. Yeah, that's probably it. Okay. I load them into the pod, if you're curious, for a few different reasons. One, so they cannot be targeted by mental breaks. you know, mood, tantrum, bashing, anything like that. Number two, if I need, let's say I'm fighting over here and I need a Doomsday Launcher, I could launch these Doomsday Launchers anywhere on my map tile. Now, of course, that also will launch the Resmix Serum as well, because it's piled into the same pile. I might separate the Resmix Serum off and do its own pods, so they don't have to launch, you know, all of it at once. But that's why there's that sort of, you know, that's why they're in pods, and why this is fueled up to 1, so that I can ship it anywhere I want at a moment's notice. Okay, let's get rid of this. So thank you, Comet Supplier. Looks to me like the slag is almost all mined out here. Or slagged up. The nasty, sick, and serious pain of the Mechanites. I mean, that's a minus 15. That's pretty bad. That's a high penalty. So the maximum range of these turrets here overlap with these turrets. I'm probably not going to mark it down with the building plans. And then these turrets here perfectly line up with this line here. So if I have brawlers smashing these mini turrets, both these autocannons and all these autocannons can aid, making that this row here is like the the bashing, like, meat grinder. And now for all the repairs that are due, I'm going to feel a lot better about having repaired up turrets. They're expensive, and I don't want to have to continually replace them. Group of rebel farmers passing by. They're going to leave immediately. It's way too cold for them to be here. I know it, and they know it. They don't even have anything for trade. They're probably just gawking at the fact that I have survived in the face of extreme adversity. All right. I am going to take a chance to say I'm going to dig into this mountain and hope that I find a steel node instead of continuing my deep drills. I'll leave the deep drills for when I feel like I need them. So I'm going to turn them off. It's possible this is a complete waste. I have, again, no idea. But we'll see. We'll hope. Alright, so let's cook up some fine meals. Raptor, where are you going? You are... Gonna crank out some additional fine meals, replacing what we've lost. They're fleeing. Fleeing indicates, yeah... Oh god, I don't think I'm going to be able to save them. I'll attempt. Because, you know, I'm trying to be nice. $77. Can only really get one of them because no one else was close enough. I suppose I could have turned on this heater and tried to heat this area warm enough to save the others. Okay, I did manage to get Tiger. Now, the real kicker is Tiger is going to probably collapse and die every time he tries to leave. Yeah, 96. Yeah, these guys are gone. And then did the last one make it out? Yeah. So the last one probably had a parka. So Jackal. And what was the other name? Lagarario or something. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I will be sending them home. On my dime. Rather than feeding them to my pets. Oh, are you feeding? Are you kidding me? Stop that. I know they're guests, but like, they don't get lavish meals. He's unconscious. Well, I guess he's actually technically conscious. But hey, no lavish meals. That's ridiculous. And we struck compacted machinery. So not what I was looking for. But also not going to complain. It's nice to have a source of that. And more compacted machinery. All right, the transport pod is done. Let's send that to the rebel farmers. As an apology for, I don't even know, it's not my fault, actually. I shouldn't feel guilty that they wandered into my map tile and froze themselves to death. I think this was the last steel from the southern cavern. Which means I can move my smelter here. And more compacted machinery. Wait, yeah, 3 nodes of it. Wow. Awesome. Okay, Raptor. I'm not gonna have Raptor do it. His mood is a little sensitive. I do want someone to make some more nutrient paste. But I have to be mindful of the mood that everyone is in. Let's get rid of these unneeded campfires. Angelia's training is coming along. Full guard and now partial haul. 3 out of 7. That's good. Really good progress. Tiger's fully healed. Oh man, I should I don't know what to do here. Tiger, you're gonna freeze and fall over again. Just run to the exit, my friend. Take a parka, I don't even care. All right, Gabe. We're gonna have you be the Mr. NPM. And we're done. Quickest way to make a mountain of food. Well, food in like air quotes, because I'm not entirely sure it's food. Well, Tiger, will you make it out? I think you will. You drop at 65. Yeah, you'll make it out. I have no idea what you're gonna do off the map tile, but as long as you're gone, it's not my problem. So there we go. Tended to Tiger. My rep has gone up a little bit. Not by much, because Tiger didn't leave. Oh, hey, I found steel. There is some steel back here. Awesome. I would have been surprised if there wasn't at least one node in a mountain this size. It's kind of a lot of area for there not to be any. Angelia is nearly trained. Crabs, how comfortable are you with the current temperature? Actually, where are you? Well, let's just look at Angelia, because she's a crab too. -10. Okay, so that means that Cauterize, you should probably get inside, because you're suffering from hypothermia often at this point. The gorillas are still fine for now. Okay, Bash is waiting for medicine. And we have a bulk goods trader flying overhead. I've been getting really lucky with trades recently. Instead of training glitch, we'll prep a trade with the bulk goods. Why aren't we making... Oh, because the... Okay. The simple meals are ahead of fine meals in terms of priority. I can fix that. Alright, bulk goods. You have human meat. I don't even want to know. They have raptor hide. 81 sharp. That's a little bit better than the swamp turtle that I bought. By a little bit. And standing lances would be nice to have for the reactor raid if I'm dealing with centipedes. Unfortunately, they do not have psychic foil, as far as I could see. No, they don't have any psychic foil, which is unfortunate because I would have liked to have bought it. I'm not going to sell those pants, after all. The only blocks that they have here are sandstone. But they do have some steel that I can stockpile up. Now, I think I have enough sources of uranium and plasteel that it's not in my best interest to trade for that. The hide here I don't think is good enough to warrant either. It's inferior to Devil Strand, and I have some Devil Strand already, so that's probably not necessary. My Neutermine is 97. That's still pretty good in the scheme of things. I'll buy maybe 100 more. Very fine trade. With all the Insanity Lances, that will be a lot of mechanoids I can have turn on one another, which I always like to do. And we have a quest being offered. Oh boy, that is not going to be an easy quest. But yeah, I don't think I can. It's not worth it. That's not enough rewards. Goodwill, a person that is going to be hated by everybody for creepy breathing and will have mental breaks, and also is only 16 with almost no passions or honor. Yeah, no, we are going to have to turn this down. That is a very, very easy quest to turn down, as it has, I'd have to defeat 200 Reapers for basically free. What I would consider a hard pass. So gonna be a little careful of Storeback freezing in here, because we are heading towards the nastiest part of winter, and now we have a Reaper raid. There is a group landing in the south, which I might be able to... What kind of raid is this? Sappers? Oh, well, you know, this is going to be a problem for future me, as I'm already out of time. So Randy being the cliffhangerist cliffhanger, that will have to be resolved next episode. If you have any feedback for me, let me know in the comments below. Thank you for watching, everybody. I'll catch you next episode. Farewell.